Have you ever heard the saying, when it rains, it pours? Do you know what it means? It means that problems often come one after another. Generally, the problems that are hardest to bear involves family, work or career, health, money, future. Do you agree? Have you ever experienced all these issues happening simultaneously? How do you think you would feel? Would you seek help? From whom? This is exactly what happened to me in 2019. In this video, I'll share how I overcame these struggles and finally experienced the peace I had been missing. If you're going through something similar or facing a combination of these challenges, join me. This might shed some light on what you need to do or provide options for when such situations may arise. This is Doc Jean and welcome to Pulot Aral. As I've mentioned, all of these things happened to me in the span of one whole year and continued to do so till November 2023, when I finally made the best decision I have ever made in my life. As I go through my personal testimony, let me just clarify certain things. One, this is not about religion, mga classmates, but showing to you that the words found in the Bible is alive if you just care enough to read it. Number two, don't focus on the people involved, but the message of the story I am sharing, because this is more relevant and significant to you. Number three, think about it and finish the entire video so you'll know what are your options if ever you are in this situation. Okay, mga classmates? And while you're at it, I will extremely be grateful for you to like and subscribe to this channel. If you like what you've heard, to spread the good news I'm about to share, and share this video so that it may help people who may go through similar situation and in need of good advice. So mga classmates, let's begin. I will relate my personal testimony through the parable of the sower, found in Matthew 13:1 to 23. Let's start with Matthew 13, verse 1 to 3. That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, a farmer went out to sow his seed. Like most of us, the farmer whom I will relate to my interpretation on this parable is our parents, who are Christians, whether Catholic or Protestant or any other religious denomination, or even mga classmate, no religion at all. They sow to us our beliefs, right? These beliefs are what they planted to us when we're young. However, as we grow older and experience many things in life, we develop independence and create our own sets of beliefs. Maybe the same as our parents, or maybe not. But our parents, like the farmer, will have to let us go and live our own lives, right? So did I. I was bullied when I was young. because I'm handicapped. I was called bionic woman because I wear a leg brace. I even got canceled in a drama competition depicting the story of the martyred founder of my school. After already rehearsing so many times, my mom painstakingly made the costume for me, and I was truly looking forward to it because I love to act. But the principal of the school, who was a nun nonetheless, tried to kick me out of the cast. Imagine that devastation. I was only allowed to come back to the cast after my father went to the school at 6 a.m. the following day and confronted the principal. Unfortunately, due to this, indeed I was able to come back again to the team of the cast. But we lost the competition because one of the judges was that the same principal herself. I was blamed for losing the competition. These are just one of the painful memories of my childhood. Notwithstanding, as I grew up as a teenager, imagine a young lady wearing a metal brace on her left leg with a boy shoe attached to it. So, where do I seek help when I'm sad? Through my parents who saw the faith in me. So, when I was in elementary through high school, you can only see me outside the classroom, in the chapel, in the library, and once in a while in the teacher's office to help them out. Mga classmate, you can already envision the scenario of how that made me so popular, right? I'm always standing in an open forum, and most of the popular girls there hate my guts for I'm a nerd and a goody two shoes. That era is such a painful reminiscence in me. Yet, I got through all that because I had an intimate relationship with the Lord. I pray to Him in the chapel of the school every time I can't handle anymore. And this is related to Matthew 13, verse 5 to 6, and Matthew 13, verse 20 to 21. Some fell on the rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched and they withered because they had no root. That is Matthew 13, verse 5 to 6. The seed falling on rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word and at once receive it with joy. But since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. And that's Matthew 13, verse 20 to 21. My faith indeed got sown, mga classmates, into me. And He made me experience His love and finally provided all the things I asked for in my college days. It was a wonderful time and memories for me. But because my faith is more focused on religion and not on Him, like going to church, praying the rosary every day, doing all the religious rites, and what I thought what a good Catholic should do. I never really got to know Him personally. I'm more focused of the gifts and the blessings that He can give me if I do all these religious teachings I was taught to do. The focus is more on what I can have in my life rather than really bothering to get to know Him in a more personal level. So I'm young and ready to party. Thus, I quickly fell from grace, especially when my engagement to my first love fell apart. I learned how to smoke, drink, and be merry. Then I became a seed on Matthew 13, verse 4 and Matthew 13, verse 19. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Matthew 13, verse 4. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. Matthew 13, verse 19. After being heartbroken, mga classmates, I turned to worldly and secular view. I will not allow myself anymore to be defined due to my handicap. I will never be pitied. I will make sure that I can be equal or even better than others. All my decisions and actions are based on how the world should see me. I have to excel and be successful according to the world's standard. And I'm immensely succeeded. Yes, people still see me I am handicapped. But after a few moments with me, you forget all about it. Many at first thought that I will be amiable on certain things so that they can get ahead. But once they realize I'm not a pushover, they look at me as a competition. Others pretend to be my friends, as I like pleasing people. Yet, just used and betrayed me. The more I experience this, the more I fight, the more pride I develop as I win my battles. The more I thought I get stronger, and the more people precisely think I am strong. In all of this, mga classmates, God keeps giving me chances to see Him. Yet I'm too engrossed to my own worldly goals and battles and just give Him a time when I have the time. Mga classmates, I still pray and believe in Him, but all just attached to the blessings He can give me when I needed Him. Sounds familiar? He became my vending machine, as we mostly are in our lives. Everything is more important because religion, as we always attach when it comes to Him, is the last priority until another problem comes along. At that time, I was already tired of the party scene and just want to have a child of my own. It is not even a husband I am asking for, but become a mother. So we come to the other part of the parable, Matthew 13, verse 7, and Matthew 13, verse 22. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Matthew 13, verse 7. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. Matthew 13, verse 22. Even if God impressed in my heart that I am to live a life to be single, I didn't want it. I ignore it. Why? Because I don't want the society and the world to think that I am single because no one can love me due to my disability. No, that's not an option. So yes, I pray and believe in God, but I also dated one man after another. And mind you, mga classmates, they are all good-looking blokes because they are a part of my conforming to the world, my validation. Yet, I've never been happy. So, when I met my ex-husband, all I was thinking is that he should at least come from a good family with stable job and will not bore me. Plus, serious to commit. It does not matter to me anymore how he looks. I even ask signs, like most women do. And the problem with signs, mga classmates, the devil can also do that and deceive you. In other words, I did what I shouldn't have done and got married anyway. suffered in an immensely difficult and expensive treatment to get pregnant to no avail, silently be blamed to be the cause, even if it wasn't, and just continue to tolerate everything I am handed to keep my marriage afloat because of religion and society's expectation until that fateful July of 2019 that I had enough. While that was happening, I'm already being gaslighted at work for being an Asian woman who does not know how to toe the line and was embarrassed to be replaced in my position with everyone knowing it except me. Of hearing I cannot practice as a dentist anymore because my spinal spondylosis already became worse. It extended from C2 to C7, and the only alternative is a very perilous surgery that I can be paralyzed neck down if it fails. And finally, when I needed a family for support, I had a huge fight with them for a certain decision my mother did to support me. My most beloved and trusted and dearest person in my life, whom I thought will be there for me, became the very first one who condemned me. By this time, I'm just trying to survive. And probably like most of us, instead of turning to God, you even move away from Him. Because of what? Because of pride, mga classmates, in your heart. I was like that. I'm too proud to ask and to admit that I can't handle this. Instead, my pride became my adrenaline. Everybody keeps on saying, I'm strong. And deep inside, I hated that word because inside, I'm crumbling. All the people thought, oh, she can handle that. She's strong. She's proud. The world wants me on my knees. And because that's what the world wants, I fought like hell. I also thought that I am being punished by God because I did not know this Bible verse. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. That's Jeremiah 29, verse 11 to 13. Like a stubborn mule, I move on and try to rebuild my own, but everything was not working. Everything just gets worse to worst. Yet God so loved me so much that He needs to sow a seed in my heart to be in a good soil and use all things that I like doing. And it's so funny. I heard his initial invitation from a famous political vlogger of all people who shares a Bible verse every end of his show from 2019 till 2023. God wanted me to be saved, and He used all my worldly attachment to reach me. And the last calling before I believe He would have allowed me to have a hardened heart if I don't come to His invitation, even if I don't pray and do anything anymore in those days. He allowed me to be so brokenhearted to the extent that I only have to make a choice, Him or just end my misery in my own hands. As stated here, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34, verse 18. And then at that time, He reminded me when I was young, the first seed He planted there in my heart, the gratefulness I felt when I was a child that He protects and defends, that He gave me so much blessing to make me feel I am not lacking of anything until I forgotten Him. And from that point, I chose and He led me to the right path wherein my faith can flourish in a good soil. This is described on this verse. Still other seed fell on good soil where it produced a crop 160 or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear. Matthew 13, verse 8 to 9. The disciples came to him and asked, "Why do you speak to the people in parables?" He replied, "Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing, but never understanding. You will be ever seeing, but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become callous. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn, and I would heal them. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. For truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. That's from Matthew 13, verse 10 to 17. But the seed falling on the good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands this. This is the one who produces a crop yielding 160 or 30 times what was sown. Matthew 13, verse 23. From November 23 up to now, I never looked back, mga classmates. I don't care anymore of how the world will perceive me. For people to say I only get into religion because I became a loser, for one, it is never about religion, but a personal relationship with Him. It is not anymore of believing in Him because I will get a blessing again, or for Him to give me back everything I lost. It is not anymore about my circumstances here on earth, but His righteousness and love that I can be saved. Personally, mga classmates, my situation got better, but not about worldly things, but restoration of family, the grace of being able to forgive and be forgiven by Him, being able to still live a comfortable life despite of everything, being accepted by Him even if I'm totally undeserving, the immense humility to accept Him as truly the sovereign power of my life, but most of all, giving Him the driver's seat of my life and be transformed by Him. And because of my faith, He gave me the unexplainable peace and grace of being saved. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Romans 12, verse 2. And that leads us, mga classmates, to what pulot aral is going to be. It will be a Bible reading and reflection. Because as I continue to say, it is not about religion, but about truly knowing Him through His own words and not ours or mine. The messages He wants you to receive, not mine or anyone else's in His scriptures, as you read along with me in this channel. And more importantly, as you get to know Him, you will finally get to have a personal relationship with Him. Believe me, mga classmates, this is a task impressed on me by God when I actually do not want to do because I feel ill-equipped and not theologically knowledgeable. I wrestled with it for months to make sure that this is what He wants me to do. And finally, after several months, I surrender. And because there are two personal Bible verses that truly what He made me to be. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. That is Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 6. And the more personal, for to me, living means living for Christ, and dying is even better. But if I live, I can do more fruitful work for Christ. So I really don't know which is better. I'm torn between two desires. I long to go and be with Christ, which would be far better for me. That's Philippians 1, verse 21 to 23. Whether or not there will be people who will listen, watch, like, subscribe, and share this so that the YT algorithm will spread it to more people and can check out this channel and even click that notification bell so that every time I upload, you will be notified is up to Him. I am just really one of His faithful servants that hopefully one soul at a time can be saved, and that I will give justice to this work enough for you to truly pick up your Bible and finally read it. Get to know Him and have a personal relationship with Him. Till next video, mga classmates, may God bless you. Always stay safe and be healthy. Bye.